doing this afternoon is working with each other, because in order to do dementia care, you don't do it solo. You do it with somebody. My goal before you walk out of here is you'll have some new ways of looking at what's going on, and because you have new ways of looking at what's going on, you'll also have a new appreciation for why what happens happens. And so once you know that, then you can back up and decide to change something. Because when you're working with somebody with dementia, you're the one who has to decide to change something. So we're going to start off how it starts off. Decide, you and a partner, you need to partner up, and you need to be next to somebody that you're going to partner with. So go ahead and get your partner, and I want you to put your hands together so I can see the partnerships. Put your hands together. Oh, look, you're the one who decided you wanted to be with me anyway. Come on up. Okay. Yes, okay, here we go. All right, now what I want you to do is decide between the two of you which of you have dementia. There you go, you're right. And here's what I hope. I hope you enjoyed that moment. I hope you enjoyed the moment where you got to pick if you got dementia. Because here's the reality, you don't get to pick. And you don't get to choose who does and who doesn't. Because if we could choose, we'd probably pick people who were more easygoing, less assertive, less interested in being the person they've always been. We could select for dementia, and we'd pick the easygoing people. That's not how it works. You get who you get. So what I'm going to do is my partner, tell me your first name.
Suzanne.
Suzanne. Okay, Suzanne is my partner, and she has dementia. So whoever has dementia, you just sit there. Because you just have dementia. You don't even know many times you have dementia. You think you're fine. You don't even realize there's anything going on. Or if you do, you notice that things are a little bit different, but not as much as everybody seems to think. I mean, you're okay. I mean, you make a few mistakes, but it's those damn teenagers next door that are the problem. You're okay. I will also swear a little bit because you need to get over that. We're going to talk about some of the behaviors you've got to get over, and one of them is reacting to my words. We're going to do that. But we'll start off here. My friend Suzanne has dementia, but she doesn't seem to notice as much as I notice. Caregiver, raise your hand. Everybody who's a caregiver now, if you're the partner and you're the caregiver, raise your hand. Take your hand now and look at it. Don't put it away, because here's what happens. Caregivers see themselves, and you see your hand as a loving, caring hand. You see your hand as a helping hand. You see this hand as what will make a difference to the person with dementia, and you're going to offer some help. I know how you are. You're going to help. So I want you to take your helping hand, caregivers, and shove it right in the face of the person with dementia. Now go ahead, I want you to do it. It's important that you actually do it. Now what I want you to notice is the person with dementia seems sort of surprised that the help was coming at them, because they were not thinking that they were going to get this kind of help. Now you saw yourself as, quote unquote, and I use this word very meaningfully, offering help, but you didn't. You shoved your help at them. You noticed they had problems, and so here's the kind of things you do. Well, you need some help with your medicine. You need help taking a shower. You need help. You are not safe getting up out of that chair without help. You need help changing your shoes. You need help. You need help. You need help. We think about our role as giving help. We're caregivers. Okay? So give your care to somebody. Now, the person with dementia, the reaction to that is not as strong and positive as you would like. They seem not to be real fond of having a hand shoved in their face. Many of them react to that. Now, a reaction is an automatic thing. You don't think about it, it just happens. So start over, and just out of the blue, shove your hand, and notice the person might flinch, pull back. The person might bring their hand up to grab your wrist a little bit. The person might go, oh! Fight, flight, fright. Fight, flight, fright. Fight. They might swear at you or hit you. Fright. They pull back and they don't do anything in that moment, because they're sort of like deer in the headlights. There's this panic moment like, oh God, what's going on here? And then there's fright, where they're trying to get away from you. Okay? So take your hand and shove it at them. Person with dementia, take your hand and put your hand against theirs. Because what you're going to want to do is get them away from your face, don't you? I mean, that's what your goal is. Now, I want you to notice something. Go ahead and put your hands together. Caregiver, as soon as you felt them push on your hand, what did you do? Push harder. Yes, indeed, you did. Because you know you're right, they need help. Okay, so now don't stop, because it never stops at this point. So they push back and you push harder, and they push back and you push harder, and pretty soon you're giving it everything you've got. Let me ask you something. Honestly, where are you going? Absolutely nowhere. And here's the hard part. If you don't like what's going on, you're going to have to change, because the person with dementia simply is reacting to you. You think it's them. Yes, it's them. It's actually the dementia in them that is causing this. And you're having a really hard time letting go of the idea that they know better, they can do better, that they're just being stubborn, they're being ornery, they're being mean. And what you didn't realize is you started this. You started it when you decided you needed to give care. Because you did not offer care, you gave care. You shoved it in their face. You told them, that's not what, you're dirty, you're filthy, you've had that same shirt on. Your daughter says you need, look at this, oh my Lord, you're wet. Here, let me. Let me have you do something. Person with dementia, close your eyes for a second. Caregiver. Oh, geez. You look at me. The people with dementia, keep your eyes closed. Caregivers, you notice they have stuff like here, and it's like, yikes. Ugh. It's dried. So what I want you to do, you ready? Here we go. Now, before they were playing around. Now they're not playing around. Now we got them riled up. And what I want you to realize is truly the person that you just did that to, their emotional state is different than it was a few seconds ago. And they don't have dementia. But what they are able to do is pull back. They're able to hold back. They take the reins of your emotions, take those reins, grab hold of them, and pull back. They're able to do that because they have an intact brain. Dementia is brain failure. It's not memory problems. And so what happens when you lose those reins, what you want to do, go ahead and close your eyes. Now, I also want you to notice how now all of a sudden this isn't so fun anymore. She's ready to go sit down. She's had enough of this, and we just started. Okay, you ready? Now this time she thinks she knows what's going to happen, right? So watch me this time. Y'all close your eyes if you're the demented person. And notice how your anxiety is a little higher than it was before. Okay, so now caregiver, this time we're going to do something different. But what I want you to do, how are you doing, okay? So I want you to mumble at them, but I don't want them to be able to understand what you're saying. Okay, so you're saying something, but they can't figure out what it is. But I want you to be very clear that you have it, and you go down in your bed, okay? And now laugh at the end. Okay, make sure it's sort of scary laugh. Okay, you ready? And now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Go ahead. Okay, now, how many of them this time jerked a little bit more? And now we're going to do one more thing, because I want you to realize each time we do this, the anxiety is getting higher and higher, and you guys are getting more nervous about what's coming next. What is she going to do next? I mean, I'm not liking any of this. And what I want to tell you is when people have dementia, they don't remember the facts, but they can remember exactly the feelings. And so they don't know what it was you did, but they know they didn't like it. And so the next time they see somebody who looks like you and sounds like you, even if it's not you, they're set up for the distress. And it happens quicker, and it happens faster, and it happens with fewer cues, because their brain remembers the feeling of not liking this. And as soon as they see you come in with that yellow thing around your neck, that starts, no, you go on now, you get out of here. This is not, no, I don't want any of it. Yeah, I'm fine, go on, get out, no. Thinking, I didn't do anything. But somebody did. But somebody did. So with my person, close your eyes. Okay, now she's still being ha 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 ha, but now each time it's a little bit worse. Here's what we're going to do this time. Okay, now you ready? Watch me this time. Try it. Go with your partner. nervous of all. And yet, what it felt like after those other episodes, it got really scary because you didn't know for sure what they were going to do, and you started jerking that foot back. What would have happened if you'd been standing and not as skilled as my young friend here? She would have fallen, and if I tried to catch her, who's going to get hurt? Both of us. Both of us. And the problem was, who started this? I did. Who will get filled out on the incident report as having a problem? She will. She's aggressive. She's resistive to care. She's difficult to care for. She needs medication. And what I'm going to tell you is she doesn't need medication. I need training. She doesn't need medication. I need to know what I'm doing. We need to quit blaming people with dementia for what happens when what happens is they have dementia and we don't know quite how to care for them. We need to quit blaming them for having a disease. We would never do that with any other health condition. If somebody has congestive heart failure, you don't walk up to them and say, you need to breathe better. You were breathing better than this the other day. Are you being ornery and stubborn or what? You need to get your heart and your lungs coordinated. This is ridiculous. I mean, would you expect their heart and their lungs to work better simply because you walk up and fuss at them? No. How about somebody who's in kidney failure? They're so far in kidney failure that they're on dialysis. Would you ever go up to them and say, lean forward just a second, go kidneys? Now listen to me. Listen to me. I want you to pee better. No, listen to me. You have peed better than you are peeing right now. I am telling you that you are not producing enough urine. You need to get the nephrons in your kidneys to process. You're being lazy, and I am not going to tolerate it. You have got to pee. Don't shake your head, pee. Now, I mean, is there a point to this? And everybody in this room goes, well, that's stupid. It won't help. That's right. But here's what happens when somebody has dementia. She's sitting in a chair. She's supposed to use a walker. But she left the walker somewhere. And so she starts to get up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where's your walker? Do you want to fall? Do you want to fall? Where'd you leave your walker? You've got to have your walker. Listen to me.
I'm taking my hearing aid.
Which of us has dementia? Okay. And here's my other least favorite. Who am I? Do you know me? I'm your aide. Oh, that'll make her happy. If she doesn't know, let's play Jeopardy. Okay? So what this afternoon's going to be all about is helping you change you. And here's how we're going to start. So my friend Suzanne's going to, Suzanne, right?
Yes.
Going to stand up over here. And instead of doing this, we did it. Uh-oh, we made a mistake. Go ahead and get that way, because that's what's going to happen. You put your hand out and they push back. Here's what I want you to do. As soon as they make contact, ease off. Do not push back at all. Do not push back. Try it. Watch what happens. As soon as they touch your hand, if they touch your hand, just ease off. Take the pressure off. What happens to them pushing into your hand? It quits. Why? Because there's no pushback. There's no resistance. When you resist resistance, all you do is increase the resistance. When you try to get somebody to do something and they don't do it and you push harder, all you're doing is make them resist what you're trying to do even more. And if it starts off, how many of you think if you didn't want to take medications with somebody that you're going to want to get naked? No, you're not doing it, are you? I can tell, and you're easygoing, and you're not doing it. So what we need to recognize is when they resist something, what we have to recognize, uh-oh, I made a mistake. We need to say uh-oh. Say uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh. There's nothing wrong with an uh-oh if it becomes an aha. Uh-oh leads to aha. When you have a moment and you recognize this is not working, you have got to be the one with the big brain. You have got to be the one that recognizes this isn't working. This isn't going where I wanted it to. And you have to immediately, you must immediately ease off. You've got to take the pressure off. And then what you have to do is get this task that you were trying to get done, whether it's shower, whether it's changing clothes, whether it's wiping their face, wiping their butt, whatever it was, whatever task, engaging them, trying to get them out of a chair, sitting down, moving, whatever, getting out of the car, whatever it was, you've got to take it off the table, move it out of the way. Because what you need to realize, it's not about getting things done, it's about the relationship you have with this person. When somebody has dementia, it's all about the relationship. It is not about the task being done. You've got to quit being task focused. And I know you're short on time. Trust me, I do this work. But I will tell you, you don't get things done fast when you do this. What it does is make it harder. Not just for you, but for the next person, and the next person, and the next person. Because once they learn they don't like this, they go into the situation ready for bear. No, 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 no. And as soon as I see that bathroom, it starts. The washroom, excuse me. Whatever y'all call it. Where you take my clothes off and try to strip me naked. And try to touch me inappropriately. I'll tell you who's sexually inappropriate, and it's not me. You people putting your hands on my private parts, that's not reasonable. Smart ass. So here we go. We're here. We ease off. We move it out of the way, and we recognize this person. And now what we say to them, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I was trying to help. Try that with your partner. Sound like you mean it too. You better sound like you mean it or it won't work. Now, as soon as they said that and they sounded sincere, did you notice how the emotional thing dropped down a little bit? Yeah. You need to be willing to say to the person, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I was trying to help. They need to hear that you screwed up. They need to hear that you're the one that made the mistake. Even though what you were doing, you were just trying to help. I understand that. But in their mind, you had no business doing what you were doing. They didn't understand what you were doing. You need to back up a little bit. And the reason I'm sorry is going to help is it's a familiar social behavior, and that's retained. They will retain the ability to remember the idea of I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And especially if you look sorry while you say I'm sorry. And you say, I was trying to help, and all of a sudden, the emotion drops. And they may say, well, you're not very helpful. You're right, I wasn't. And I apologize. I had no business acting like that. You need to be willing to be wrong. And you need to say it out loud. Because people with dementia are not good at interpreting what you mean when you don't say what you mean. And you need to get your visuals a little bigger. We're going to talk about all this stuff. But you need to be thinking about how you look to them, how you sound to them. And you need to sound and look a little sorry. Now that you've done that, I'm going to give you a couple other phrases you may need to use. I'm sorry I made you angry. Try that one. I'm sorry I made you angry. I'm sorry I embarrassed you. I'm sorry I frustrated you. And here's my absolute favorite. I use this one a whole lot. I'm sorry. This is hard. Because what I'm admitting is this is difficult. It's difficult for me, but I also am acknowledging it's difficult for you. And what I'm trying to get you to see is this is not about caregiving. As long as you keep in your mind that you're a caregiver, you're going to lose. What you want to become is a care partner. You need to work with the person, not push into the person. And so now, once we've done that, we need to change our whole behavior when we offer help. We need to quit coming in there like great guns. And you need to come in, and the first thing you need to do is offer. And here's how you start the offer. Hey. Now, doesn't that feel different? Try that and see what happens. Well, hey. Now, look, they actually agreed to shake your hand. There was no force involved. There was no intrusion. It was a real friendly kind of thing. Automatic social behavior. Preserved. Preserved. So what you want to do, hey, we came in and we did this, shook hands. Now, here's what I want to show you. You don't want to let it go, this handhold. But you can't stay like this because they're not going to tolerate that. Or late in the disease, they'll squeeze the crap out of you. And And I'll tell you why in a little bit, but the reality is they're either going to love it or they're not going to want it. So what we're going to do is we're going to shake, and rather than let go, because we do want to be near them and we do want to touch them, this is a friendly, familiar touch. You can't stay there. It's not normal. So what we're going to do is slide around. Now,